to the LP show. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the LP show. This is episode 7, unofficially. It's going to be more of a drinking type of episode, but we'll be discussing the same type of stuff. Unfortunately, Pilks isn't with us tonight. He had a work schedule change, so he's going to be...
Busy man.
Yeah, so he's going to be kind of in and out, but we got Drew with us tonight, co-hosting, so we're super excited about that. Drew, how you doing tonight, man? How was your week? It's Friday.
Oh man, pretty good. Chilling, relaxing. Had my day off today. It's very nice.
Beautiful.
But yeah, man. Back at work again tomorrow. But it's, like I said before, man, the holidays are coming.
That retail schedule, yeah, I know you're gonna get ramped up a little bit there.
Yeah, people are getting a little stressed out. You can feel it in the air.
A little antsy.
Yeah, I like it, honestly. I like the little anticipation before, like, the holidays, the pumped up.
Well, you know, after the holidays, you're gonna be a little bit less busy too. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to as well.
Hey, well, they're not gonna. See, well, the only bad thing about that is when they cut hours.
Yeah, true.
That's
true.
when that stuff is
a problem.
It hurts some employees. Me, I usually don't get my hours. Obviously, I don't get my hours cut, but
yeah,
some employees. I mean, but yeah, it sounds like we need a union, honestly. But
yeah, to dive into the first topic of today's episode, let's talk about the dock workers strike and unions and stuff like that. Drew, if you want to touch on that, I know we talked about it a little bit before we went live here.
Yeah, man. So I mean, basically, yeah, you have your dock workers on strike. I think they originally wanted, what is it? What was it? 77% raise within the next 6 years or something like that, I believe.
That's pretty high.
That equals out to like $5 raise each year. But yeah, I mean, for the stuff they do, and I guess their jobs are getting threatened by robots. Pretty much, everything's getting taken over by robots, man.
Yeah, I'm seeing something right here. Actually, it says comments from the union leadership have briefly suggested a move to 61.5%, but the union has since signaled that they're sticking with their initial demand for 77% pay increase over the next 6 years. That's crazy. Man. I mean, that's a lot to ask for. Let me just touch on this real quick, Drew. My problem with it is that's great for them and stuff, but what about the everyday average American? People who go to the warehouse and have to work every morning. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. It's like they never get any type of unionization like that, right?
No.
And if you know
even that close.
And if you know anything about the union, Drew, the unions are very like tight knit. So typically you have to know people to get into a union. So that's like my complaint about it, but I do understand why they do it, and I think it's a good thing because it's another way the American people can kind of put their foot down,
Yeah, no, I understand. No, I completely understand going on strike. I mean, inflation, folks. You feel it yourself. You can't pay a bill, something happens. Your car fucks up, anything. But the job you work for, they don't care. It's business as usual for them, man.
Absolutely.
So they're not losing any money while you're losing money.
Absolutely. Hey, that's the problem in it, and that's why we have such high like kind of like job jumping rates, I guess. I don't know the correct terminology for it, but people just jumping around to jobs, man, because of that. But to get back on the subject, yeah, I was reading something here and it said that it was about 45,000 dock workers went on strike Tuesday. It says for the first time in decades, actually, 36 U.S. ports from Maine to Texas. It says they may wield the upper hand in their standoff with the port operators over the wages and the use of automation. Drew, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean,
do you think 77% is a lot to ask for?
Well,
over 6 years. I mean that
over 6 years. I would
steep. I mean,
that is a steep claim, but listen. it's either that or you're not getting.
Well, look at it like
you're
this,
not gonna
Drew.
be
Look,
bored.
look at it like this, Drew. If you're paying them $20 an hour, right? So over the next 6 years, you're going to be having to pay everybody $35 an hour, and they're probably already making $35 an hour if they're in the union.
Yeah. See, I think their average. I think what they make now, actually, like well, from I think like the 2020 standpoint, it was like 22 to like $30 or $35 an hour they were making.
Which is, that's more
Which
than
is
like
good.
the average job in anywhere. I mean, obviously it's
Yeah.
a union; it's usually skilled laborers, but
And you got to
I
think, how
mean,
much are you
I
paying
was
your
I was
union deal? Like,
I was a welder for like two,
right.
3 years, man, and it's like I never seen that type of money.
Yeah.
I've never seen
You
that
were
type of
making pretty
money.
good money though.
Yeah,
You
I was
were.
making
You were
good
making
money for sure, but
for the time.
for our time and for my age and everything like that. But it's like I never seen that type of money. That's like crazy, And even now, if you go on Indeed or something like that, man, if you look at welding jobs, unless it's like a really like stick welding or something like that, and even like aluminum TIG, like I did aluminum TIG, which is a very skilled one, they only pay $20 an hour. Which I say only, but you can go get a warehouse job for 17, 18.
Dude, yes, you can find a lot. Like the entry position for, I think, a manager position at the store that the company I work at is like 20. So, and that's easy.
Yeah, that's like
Nothing.
entry level manager.
Yeah, and welding is literally a skill, a trade skill.
You see that's the problem with it. And that's why, to stay on topic, that's why these things happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they saturate the market. It's just like everything else. They saturated the work market, and they made these jobs like McDonald's, or you can go work at Target for $16 an hour. I mean, you're gonna go work at Target and have a funky schedule, or go work slave labor at a warehouse.
Yeah, and that could be, yeah. And but on with this the the dock workers though, something that I heard the other day, which it kind of makes sense. You know, if everything was American made, you wouldn't have things stopped on ships. You wouldn't have your product on ships or anything.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother subject, right?
That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, because that's the truth, man. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this, Drew. How do you see it playing out? Do you see it? I mean, obviously, right? You're gonna say, I know what you're already gonna say. You're gonna say, well, they're gonna have to do it because they're not gonna have they're not gonna have workers if not. But do you see it playing out to where they get the 77%? I mean, hell, they're already giving them. They're already, saying 61. That's a pretty high percent.
And that's up till what? Like only the next 6 months or something, right? Then this is just only a temporary thing, right? I think that's what.
Since
Like they just
the
agreed on
alliance,
something.
the alliance offered 50% raises over the next 6-year life of the contract.
Okay. Well,
So I mean, 50% raises, dude. Like,
yeah,
I've never heard of that in
take
any position I've ever held. I've never heard of that.
I take it or leave it.
If somebody said, "Hey, you're going to be making 50% more than you're making right now in 6 years if you stay at this company," I feel like a lot more people would stay at their companies.
And all I had to do was not work for I don't even know, a day, 2 days, or something like that, and hold signs outside. I mean,
You
I
get
don't
2
know.
days off work. That's what I just heard.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So yeah, I would say it's worth it. Job well done.
do you think? How do you see it playing out, Drew?
I think of the next. I feel like it will they'll probably give them another 10%, for the time, but
I couldn't
honestly
see him
think the
going
workers-
77%. I really don't see him
No,
going
definitely not.
77%.
Definitely not 77. But you also have to think. You think those workers are going to be working as hard as what they were doing? They're going to be taking their time, man.
Well, I mean, Drew, are they going to be taking their time even if they get the 77% though?
Exactly. I don't know.
We're
I would
human
think-
beings. You know how it is. You
in a
always say,
perfect world.
"Oh, I'm going to work way harder if I get that raise." You get that raise, and 3 months down the road, you stop working as hard as you worked 3 months ago when you got that raise.
Yeah, that is true, and that's why everything's turning to technology, man. That's
I know it, man. I know it. Like we were just talking about, it's like I've done so many like laboring jobs in my life, dude, and it's like I'm just done with it. I'm 29, dude, and I literally could not imagine keep doing laborious jobs.
Yeah.
I I enjoy going to the gym too much, you know, and it's like I can't do both like for the next 20 years of my life.
Yeah, I mean, you also got to think too. A lot of people don't go to the gym like you. You have that exercise. You have that time to, get fit. But the lazy pieces of shit like me,
Well, we're not
that's
saying
my
that.
exercise. That's my exercise at work.
But that's good though, because I've worked with a lot of people, in warehouse, receiving, shipping, whatever it might be, type of positions that they tell me all the time. Oh, this is my workout for the day, and it's like it is a workout for sure. But me, Drew. I've went to the gym for so long. It's that's kind of just part of my life cycle now. It's like no matter how hard I've worked in the day, if it's my gym day, I'm going to the gym.
That's a good addiction to have.
It is, it's dopamine, man. It really is. I'm happy. It's like my release.
Yeah, I hear you, man. What are you drinking on there?
Got some
change the topic here.
Jack Daniels honey.
Jack Daniels.
Erica actually noticed that you had the regular Jack Daniels, and she reminded me of a time when we were drinking that over at the apartment, my first apartment with Erica, if you remember.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yes, I remember the Beach Grove, right?
Yep, and then we ended up going and helping 2:30 move the next day.
Oh my God, was it the next day?
The next day we woke up, dude. We were hungover as hell.
I remember.
We were late. We were late. We were late getting over there.
I just remember going over to his. You're talking about moving out with his now wife, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember going to her house. I just fell out of place.
Oh, we both did. Not just you.
We felt like the help.
Yeah, and it's like, man, this is $1 million company, and you bring us some sandwiches.
Yeah.
You can't even treat us to some burgers or something from somewhere nice, dude. Some Red Robin burgers or something,
I remember, man. I remember though when we got done, we were chilling in his living room, and I sat on his couch. I was sweating. I got up and left a huge sweat stain on his couch.
Big old butt sweat stain.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but hey.
No.
Do what you gotta do.
Another topic I wanted to kind of jump into. That was a brief, good. I felt like that was a productive discussion though about the dock working.
We have many more stories.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying about the dock worker situation. But to jump into something else, Drew, what do you think? This is a good question. I feel like how about discussing the impact of technology and like how it affects our daily lives? What are your thoughts on that? Give me a piece.
They're taking our jobs. No, yeah.
I mean, technology as far as kids using tablets and
Yeah. They have their benefits and they don't. Obviously, you have the world at your hands right here with this phone. You can look up anything. You can find out anything.
Right.
You can communicate with anyone. And like I said, with everything, it's everything in moderation, but it's gonna get even worse. That, my opinion.
Yeah. I wanted you to touch on what we talked about in, I believe it was episode 4 now. Check it out, by the way. It's a good episode, informative. But I think what we talked about in episode 4, but how many people you see at your work personally? Because I know a lot of young kids come through Myers and work there. Like, what do you see on the day-to-day? You said you see a lot of kids with kind of their necks bent and looking down at their phones and stuff like that.
Yes. All the time, dude. I mean, they're, how we used to push in carts, what I'm saying? We chilled, we relaxed, got our job done, then we, relaxed, fucked around, whatever. But these guys are literally sometimes working just face down, phones in their face. It's
like 24/7 connectivity to the phone.
24/7. It's just absolutely like I feel like they have like sensors on their head now because they can see when someone's like right in front of them. They're good at moving out of the way. I'll give them that. But
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, you remember when you and I first met actually at Myers. Like you said the other day, man, we I don't remember really being on the phone too much. We really just clowned around with each other and
fucked around, made fun of people,
smoked the occasional blunt outside on the cart rack, at 9 at night.
Yes, sir, man.
But like, I can't really remember any times all of us just sitting there on our phones.
Hell, I remember not even, well, it used to be one of my managers, but I don't know if you remember the incident. So we were changing trash back in like by the bathrooms, and Bill Baker came out. And he poked his head through the window and he's like, "Hey, if I see you on that phone again, I'm taking it away." I'm like, bro, I was looking at the time, man.
And
looking at
yeah,
that time.
no, that's how it used to be.
Relax.
And nowadays,
Yeah.
man, like they can't employ people unless they say, hey, you can use your phone throughout the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
in which in our case too, it is. Well, it's kind of weird. I don't know, our Meyer. So we have an app now that we clock in and out. There is no punching in and out or nothing.
There's a lot of places like that now.
And they have like a social media type platform for Meyer
the
too.
community.
Yeah, so they can always make the excuse like, "Hey, I know I was on this. What can you do?"
Wow.
I mean, that's I mean, you can't.
What do you think about like the impact it has, being on the phone so much, to the mental health and things like that? Do you think you can speak on that at all, or?
I mean, it's again, it's just another addiction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a bad addiction, is what I'm gonna say. If you're on it all the time, it's just like kind of in the early 2000s when someone's on a computer all the time. Their eyes, they start to get the bags underneath their eyes, the black eyes. It just fucks with people's head. They're reading things that sometimes aren't true. They're watching videos. Obviously, they're not supposed to be watching.
And then,
I mean,
like you had said,
yeah.
it goes into, like you were perfect example. They see things they're not supposed to see. They read things that aren't true and things like that. And, then they get that recommendations post and they just keep seeing those same things and same things and same things. And it's like a brainwash, right?
It is, yes.
It becomes like they're getting brainwashed, and it's really insane to watch, man, honestly. And it's like these people are, they're very gullible. I feel like, like this younger generation, I don't think they're the brightest people in the bunch, honestly. They talk about it a lot, like the younger generation's like smart and stuff like that, but I really just don't think they are, to be honest with you.
I think it's just they're smart more towards certain things, like technology. I think they're just going to get smarter towards technology, and that's all that is.
Yeah.
But you got to think every generation says, "Oh, this generation is the next." But I really do think this generation coming up, it is something. They're
scary.
not connected. There's something that just isn't connecting. That it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, man. If something has to give.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. It's just it's crazy to see it, man. Like even like apps and stuff like that. It's like people like every day they have to get on, and right when they wake up, they're looking forward to clicking their Instagram, and they're looking for. I just think the impact of the technology is just it's detrimental. Was the right word for it to society, but it's also one of those things like. We had book smart, we had street smart, right? Back when we were younger. And I feel like a lot of generations before us, that's like what everybody always said. People are either book smart or they're street smart or they're both. Or they're neither. And now they're neither, but now they're technology smart, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not book smart, they're not street smart, they're technology smart, and they're, it's like, yeah, like you said, they've literally recreated, or not recreated, but they've created a new category of this, and it just is like, it's insane to sit back and watch this happen.
And I would say that we are probably the last generation that probably has all three of those.
Yeah.
We know technology, we know street smarts, and we have the books. Like, we've gone through all of that, all in one,
Yeah.
And it's slowly just going towards, which obviously you're gonna have your kids that are still smart, you're book smart, but
I like you said, I think
some you're street smart, but it's gonna be more technology.
Like you said, I think it comes down to moderation, just like anything else in life, like having that good moderation of how much you're doing this or how much you're looking on the freaking phone all the time. Maybe you need to take a day where you don't use your phone,
Can you imagine that though?
I know Pilk sometimes, man, he'll literally just shut his phone off if he's off a day or two and he's not trying to mess with nobody, he'll just shut his phone off.
No, I get it. I really do. I'm gonna agree.
But
I used to do that a lot more back then. But
yeah, 100%. Let me ask you this, Drew, like personal impact on daily technology use, I guess. How do you think has it changed your daily routine? Like, you get up, you use the restroom in the morning, you look at your phone the whole time. Would you say it's a positive or negative effect?
So obviously, when I'm on the toilet doing my business, of course, it's a positive. I'm looking at that. Yeah, you're looking a little blurry there, my friend.
I don't know what's going on. Go ahead, keep on going though. You're good.
But I think it's a positive effect. Obviously, if I'm taking a shit, but no, I haven't. What I use on my phone in the morning, like getting ready or anything, is literally just listening to music. I take my morning shower.
I think a lot of people do that.
I do have email on my phone for my work email. I like to take a look at that just so I know what's going on today. Any call-ins, whatever.
Right.
I like
kind of know what you're walking into.
Yeah. But as for anything else, social media, I really don't get on until, honestly, I don't get on social media right before I go to sleep. I like to do a little looking at videos, funny memes, but that's about it, man.
So overall, positive or negative, would you say in your life?
I would say positive for me.
So not a negative effect. It's not like you're on it too much or anything like that. Or
now my daughter, that's a different story, but that also adds in a whole.
that's a generational gap right there, my friend.
She also is on the spectrum, so that honestly, you can't, what I'm saying, you can't really do anything there.
And if she likes it, she likes it.
That's what she likes. That's what keeps her in the place, zoned 100%. In.
Absolutely,
I'm all for it. But
another, just to end on that topic, but another topic to jump onto here, Drew, is like we were talking about before we went live again. The fact that states aren't like, there's still some states out there that have not allowed like even medical marijuana or things like that, when there's already a large majority of them who have. What are your thoughts on that? I know you live in a state where it's not legal, but I personally have lived in a state now 2 times for going on 4 years where it's been legal, and dude, it's crazy. Honestly.
No, I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
There is no reason why it should not be, at least medically, here in the state that I'm in, Indiana. There's no reason for it. It's so many benefits.
I mean,
literally there.
I can give you one right now, like state to state or state per state, and these are actual facts. Like, legalizing marijuana, it's a significant tax revenue, right? Like, people know that.
Yeah.
And for example, and this is a real fact, Colorado generated over $400 million in tax revenue in the first year of legalization. And I'm sure you've heard of that. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that. But it's like, that just goes to show you, obviously, how popular it is, right? But how much money and that's what these states and all these big corporations are about, government, is money. So it's like, why not? What are your thoughts on that, Drew? Like, why do you think they're not just go ahead and doing it?
I mean, I think it really is just political. Honestly, that's what a lot of it is. It is political. Sometimes it isn't. It differs by state, but I think at least the state that I live in, it's political. But also political means money. So it really doesn't make sense. Also, honestly, religion is a part too.
Yeah. Public opinion.
Yes, public opinion, which, I can't really speak of.
But I don't personally care, but so a lot of people do though.
No, of course,
But there are facts here that actually say, and I'm looking at a site here, and it says that some studies suggest that legalizing marijuana can actually reduce drug-related crime, and put the burden on the justice system. So it's like that's another thing to factor in too, right? I mean,
there's so many. I mean,
and it's one of those things where it's like, people from Indiana, man, like it's not legal in Indiana. So people are either going to buy it from a drug dealer if they are smoking, or they're going out of state to buy it.
Yep. Yep.
So it's like, you know, it's one of those things. You might as well just legalize it because it's like people are going to get it anyways, right? Like, it's like guns. You know, if you ever try to take all the guns away, people are going to have guns still. Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're still going to have guns.
Yeah, like,
better believe that. But yeah, no, it's I really don't understand it at all. With they just nationwide, at least nationwide medical. I can understand that, but
I mean, you know, and like like you were just saying, medical. Just to touch on that, like a few medical benefits that excuse me, that research has shown. You know, obviously you probably know these too, but it can help alleviate various medical conditions, including chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and nausea from chemo. So it's like those are big ones, right? Like, I couldn't imagine living in a state and having to go through something like chemo and not having the, you know, just the option to be able to go smoke a joint after, right? Like,
yeah, man,
that's terrible. You know, that's terrible things that people go through.
And, you know, and I'm not for sure about the, you know, statistics on like pregnancy, you know, how a mother is like has morning sickness.
Yeah.
I've heard of stories, obviously, people smoking a little bit and it helps it right away.
Yeah.
But this is something that came up with me and my wife. So it's just crazy how, you know, obviously you get drug tested, you know, they look at your urine, your blood when you're in labor, obviously when you're about to give birth, or after, honestly, you know, and if you have something in your system, marijuana, obviously marijuana, you know, there's a chances that you might have a CPS worker at the door, you know,
or you might go to jail. I mean, you could go to jail.
You might go to jail.
I mean,
but you can have,
go ahead,
you know, you can drink alcohol, and smoke cigarettes.
Crazy.
And not a thing will happen. You know, it is a law to. So, if a pregnant woman wants to go to a liquor store and get a bottle of booze, you cannot deny them that.
That's absolutely insane. It's like selling cigarettes to a pregnant woman, like you said. It's like, that's crazy. You know, it's like
it's insane. It is so ass backwards.
Yeah, I mean that's asinine to think. You know that's like a legal thing.
Yes. What were you going to say, by the way?
I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you here, Drew.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's definitely touching me up, but no, it's it's a good conversation to have though, because like I said, like things like chronic pain and epilepsy and stuff like that, like people that don't have those things, they can't really speak on them, right? Like, how can you tell somebody, you know, oh well, this isn't good for you medically, but well, every time I use it though, I feel better.
Yeah, weird.
You know, like I take this medication and I feel like crap, and now I'm addicted to it. But when I smoke these joints, like I'm not addicted to it by any means. Yeah, obviously it becomes a habit after 21 days, like we've talked about, but it's not addicting. You know what I mean? Like I can go 3-4 days without it. You know what I mean? It's no big deal. I'm not gonna have withdrawals.
And exactly, that's what I was going to say. The withdrawals. That's all that really. There is no withdrawal symptoms.
No. I mean, you know, the most withdrawal you're going to have is if you're smoking blunts, and you're going to have withdrawal from tobacco or something like that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like something. You know what I mean? Like not related to the actual weed, though.
Yes. Yeah. The nicotine. Yes. The nicotine. That nick
high. I mean that takes it to another level, though.
What's your opinion on? What do you think about? I'm sorry to get off topic there, but. So kids nowadays, you know, obviously it's all vapes. You don't see any, you know how back in the day you see the kids with cigarettes. You know, that was a thing. You know how we started off with the Black and Milds.
Cheyennes.
You know, the Cheyennes. That was the first cigarette.
I remember that. Those things taste like cat piss.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, we used to hotbox fucking Black and Milds
in the hotel rooms.
Yeah. Now it's vapes. Which... I mean, you guys used to. I mean, I used to vape too, but a little bit here and there. But you guys used to vape. You guys stopped now, right? Or are you still?
Well, so we stopped the actual like the big rig vaping and stuff like that. You know, like Megan has. You know, like the mods. I think they called them.
She's actually been like few months clean
Oh,
from
really?
that.
That's
Well,
good.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So we stopped for like 3 years, man. And then one day when we were in Florida, they had those disposable ones at the gas station, and I was really cool with some of the dudes. And they were hitting them, and they were like, "Man, try this, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Fuck it," and tried it. And then I ended up
Yeah.
buying one, and it hasn't been quite a year. It'll be a year in November, but we've really cut down. So we're like, this is like one we're using right now, and it's like.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so nasty that it's like you don't even want to hit it. You know what I mean? It's more of like a muscle.
Yeah.
It's more of like muscle memory. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. No, and I was gonna say, listen, everything in moderation. Again, like I say, there's nothing wrong with a little.
Yeah, like we'll put it in the bathroom and then like forget about it for a while, and then it's like, oh yeah, you might go hit that after we eat or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. There's kids now that are just they have to have it on them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've seen plenty of videos. I actually just the other day I seen a video of this guy. I mean, I don't know, he might have been 18, 19. He was just getting out of jail and he was running through the door. She's like, "I need a vape. I need a vape. Someone give me a vape."
Oh my god, that's that's horrible. I mean, I couldn't imagine seeing that, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's addiction.
I mean, that's another thing, like just to touch on that real quick a little bit, man, like the vapes, man, it's like, that's another thing that's kind of like just taking the world by storm, right? It's like, but it's definitely not good. It's definitely not good. It's just another form of a cigarette, and that's why we want to stop it again. I mean, we were 3 years when we didn't vape at all, dude, and I felt great. And it's like now it's like I cough a little bit more. It's like I can feel it in my lungs, and it's just like, it's just not worth it,
Even with the THC vapes, man, I stopped those because for a while I used those. I felt myself just wheezing all the time and just just catching my breath. Yeah,
They hit a lot harder. They hit a lot harder.
Yes. So I had to stop that, and now I'm just all, just a regular herb, man. Regular herb.
I hear you though, man. I hear you. Yeah, no. It's definitely some productive conversations I think we've had though, for sure. I'm trying to think of any other topics that we could cover, because this is kind of like a generalization. Yeah. But back to the dock worker strike and stuff like that. I mean, we've seen strikes in the past. How long do you think it's going to end up taking them to resolve this, Drew? I think it's been like a week now.
Yeah, probably about a week, maybe 2 weeks or so. But I feel like it would probably be done towards maybe right before Thanksgiving. That's my guess.
I mean,
everyone tried.
they said 45,000 people out there. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. That's a lot. But you got to think, those people need to eat. They're not getting paid.
Yeah,
they're not going to get paid if they're not working.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's like, a lot of people have done it in the past, and they're asking for a big pay raise. Like you said, it could take till the end of November. I mean, really, realistically, but it's like it could happen though for them for sure. I mean,
and this time they kind of picked the right time. Well, it's sad to say the right time, but with the hurricane rolling through,
and that's what a lot of people are criticizing. But at the same time, it's like people need to understand that these are jobs. People work these jobs, and people need to understand that this is why you need the working class people.
Yeah.
The people these people are getting left behind. People in offices are making 2 times what they're making. These skilled laborers, like I said, they're taking entry-level jobs, which the skilled laborer took 5 years to become a journeyman just to make what the entry-level jobs are making now. I mean, it's insane to see, Drew, and that's the problem right now. I feel like I really do.
I mean, during COVID, we were called the essential workers, and now not so essential, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, not so essential anymore. That kind of is a thing of the past, right? Like that kind of got pushed behind.
Oh, when you still need the government and the America to keep going, No, of course, let's have these people. They have to go to work, They're essential. We need them, but
like I said,
they want more money.
That's why I stand behind striking and things like that, because it's like, it comes down to sometimes you got to let people know you need me, even though the other people are making the big bucks and stuff like that. They're not doing the actual work.
Yeah,
they're not doing the actual hard labor every single day. Waking up at 6 a.m. They're getting their coffee at 8. They're getting in at 9. They're leaving by 4. You know what I mean? It's 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 a different world. But is there anything else you wanted to touch on with that, Drew, or anything else in general while we're still on here?
I mean, not really, man. I did want to. You said I did want to touch on the hurricane a little more, though. But I know your family also lives in. Well, your mom and dad, your parents, live in Florida. How are they doing?
They're good. No, yeah, we actually got hit by Hurricane Ian back in 2022. So that was very devastating to the area that I was in. But we lost power for it's like 2 weeks. You never understand how much you need power and water until you don't have it for 2 weeks. I was going down to the canal watching for gators so I didn't get bit, just so I could flush the toilets in the morning.
Jesus.
No, but they're doing good. They're doing good, Drew.
It's good.
It kind of missed Florida, really. It kind of hit like North Carolina, which is crazy, and Georgia.
Yeah, that's why I heard. Yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of things, man. It changes the whole like infrastructure. Some roads, highways are just falling out.
I mean, I'll tell you what. When like my personal experience in it, man, like we seen a lot of bridges. Florida, all bridges, a lot of water, but we seen so many bridges shut down from that, dude. I mean, it was insane. I mean, bridges were underwater, causeways, dude, like completely gone. You couldn't even get to Sanibel Island unless you went on a boat.
So I want to ask, so how was the relief there? Like, did you guys have FEMA or anything coming around?
I never seen one thing. We didn't get a lick of money. The problem with it is, Drew, there's a lot of people, and I worked with people who did this actually, but FEMA, like they were just giving money out, right? Yeah. And what they were doing was they were giving people like $50,000 to $70,000 if they had like a damaged roof or something like that. And then people were getting the roofs done for $20,000.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You see how that screws the economy up?
Yeah. Yes, dude. Yes.
So that's the problem with those type of things. And you're going to see it again. And the problem with it is, Drew, Eric and I applied for something to get money back. It was supposed to be like $1,000.
Yeah.
We got denied for it. But people in Miami were claiming that they lived out where we lived, and they were getting paid.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. Well, now, so I've heard, I was doing some reading that, which who knows if it's true, but the FEMA reaction to this hurricane was very slow.
Oh, man.
And they said the funds were all, they were all given to the FEMA, they gave them to the migrant, people coming in, the immigrants coming in. He said that's where all the money went to, and that's why we don't have much. But obviously, that's another political. Who knows?
That in the Ukraine, man.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, obviously, it's coming from somewhere. That's money that could still be spent.
How are you in debt, but you're still giving people millions of dollars?
Makes no sense.
It makes zero sense at all. It makes zero sense at all, Drew. I mean, it really does. But it looks like you're about finished with your drink there. I'm about to take my last drink myself.
Yes, sir.
So we can tie off the end of this episode, man. It's been honestly a really fun episode, dude. I'm super happy that Drew's been able to kind of step in and co-host. Blano, like I said, he's got a pretty busy schedule, but we definitely want to get him back in here because he's essential to the show for sure.
Yes, we missed you, Blaine.
Yeah, so shout out Blano. Much love. Hope you're doing all right. But we'll see him on the next episode, I'm sure of it, next week.
Yeah, hopefully, yes, sir.
And like I said, I super appreciate you stepping in, Drew. I know you're loving it. Look at his new setup. I mean, look at this guy. Oh,
yes, the new setup, the new mic.
Look at this guy, man. He's really doing it big. Yes. But, we've seen all the likes, the comments. The shorts have been blowing up. We've gotten 19 subscribers, so big shout out to everybody. We haven't really said anything about that, but big shout out to everybody. We appreciate everybody viewing our content and coming back and checking us out. And yeah, like I said, this was episode 7. So, Drew, if you want to do the honors of what Pilks usually does and send us off, man, that'd be cool. And real quick, like I said, episode 7, make sure you guys check out the last episode, episode 6, and look forward to more shorts this week and episode 8 coming up. We'll see you on episode 8, everybody. Drew, if you want to send them out.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's been a wonderful night. God bless, and just remember to go out and vote. Okay.
Great talking with everybody. Thanks for watching the LP show tonight.
This has been the LP Show. Thank you for watching. My name is Phillips. This is my boy Lucas. Tune in next week.